So welcome everyone. And we have about 1 month to the sign-up deadline, April 1 for CAPS. And there are some revisions this year that pretty much everyone is going to have to do. They shouldn't take too long, but I wanted to record a fairly concise summary of what it is and what to do. Okay, so the bottom line as well is that this is, Emily and I are both available, but I'll be the primary person to help with these changes this spring. Emily's very busy on her farm, so definitely contact me, and phone or text or email is fine. I can give one-on-one support as needed, and ideally it is by April 1. Okay, so many of you, I think all of you are probably familiar. You're going to come in here before April 1 and edit your plan through the Produce Safety Portal. And the revisions needed, there are the two major ones, and it's really one real major one, and then the second is sort of is needed just to accommodate the first. So it's section 3 and section 7. Section 3 was containers. It's now contact surface cleaning and risk reduction. And 7 is the same title, wash pack facility. So you focus on the wash pack. And the reason really the two main reasons are here to outline this really concise cleaning plan of the highest risk contact surfaces. So we're moving away from like every bin taking a photo of and how you're washing it. And just really shifting the focus to the high risk contact surfaces from field to customer. And this is also to better align with FSMA's produce safety rule. That is definitely what the take that like Tucker has at the agency, is looking at cleaning and of these higher risk surfaces. And this is kind of a win-win for the CAPS program because we were having a lot of problems over the many years with section 3, just with clarifying what to clean, how to describe it, all of that kind of stuff, photos of everything. So we're looking forward to this change, and I think it will streamline things. So really, if we can, the win-win focus on clean and efficient production flow is a good way to think about it for your higher risk crops. This is the old section. It was farm containers and risk reduction, and the new section is going to look like this: contact surface and risk reduction. So it is this in the same place, and it actually includes many of the same stuff. But again, the focus is tightening and shifting. So the new section looks a little longer right now, the meta text or help text. And really what you're doing here is you're looking at your identified food contact surfaces from field to customer. They're identified, cleaned, and managed to minimize that risk of crop contamination. So it's a fairly big section depending on what you're doing and what your act is, but it should flow well. So these typical contact surfaces, right, that are new, harvest knives or harvest like blades of various kinds that are actually touching raw eating produce, containers you're already doing, but rubber bands possibly. Hands and gloves are covered. Hands are always going to be covered under the other section, so they're not included here. But in the wash pack, it could be tanks, dunk tanks, but also conveyors, spray tables, their baskets, sorting and packing tables, hands, gloves. Could be like ice hoppers or ice scoops, things like that. Not as much once you get past the wash pack. Could be nothing, but people who do farmers markets or stands, there may be display containers, tongs, service implements, stuff like that. Whether that may be something that you've never had in your plan, and it might not be needed, but it is there. So, think about it for your situation. What is it? It could be a mesh pool skimmer, could be a blade for quick cut. And the harvest baskets are obvious, the surfaces are obvious, but there are things that haven't been included up to this point. So again, identifying those surfaces, and then cleaning and managing them to minimize risk. So first step, you can really use the text field right in the plan, or you can use this cleaning plan template, also called the master cleaning plan template. By the way, the LGS level of CAPS already is doing this master cleaning plan, so it's not all that new for them. But just a simple list of what you're doing, what it is that you're actually going to clean, and then you get to decide the frequency. It should be reasonable. It makes sense for you. Basically, you're describing what you're doing already. Start with that, and generally speaking, that's going to be fine. This is a little screenshot of the template. It's just a word table, and you can adjust the number of rows. We found for if you've got multiple things, it's really a lot easier to do it this way. So we encourage that, and then you just upload that form. So the scrubbing with soap and water is something that there's been a lot of confusion about, and one of the big headaches for us with the container section. And it is key, and this is about this FSMA alignment, really, but it's really about risk reduction. So cleaning, I guess when Tucker walks on a farm, this is in the Agency of Ag or SAM, their focus is when are you actually doing this kind of thorough cleaning? They don't care as much about when you're rinsing bins and flipping them upside down to dry. What they care about is this four-step cleaning, which is actually scrubbing, some kind of physical scrub and detergent and rinsing. And that is the thing that will, more than anything, reduce risk or get pathogens off of surfaces. Sanitizing is also a recommended step, but it's only after cleaning, and it is also not required every time. So that's another important thing. So soap is, a lot of people say we scrub or we clean with sanitizer or something like that. That's really not a sentence that makes much sense, because sanitizer is not a cleaner. It kills bacteria, but it will not do much with dirt and or grime, whereas soap does. So soap is going to, the hydrocarbon tails are going to dissolve in dirt and in fat or grease and surround it. And then water, once you scrub, you get those off, and then water is going to rinse it off. Many people know this, but for some reason there's a lot of confusion. So the scrubbing with water, with detergent as needed, is a really good phrase in your cleaning plan. And then after cleaning, you can sanitize again. It's kind of the gold standard. A lot of people may use bleach. That's great. It's actually really inexpensive, and it's not much. This is over a 200 part per million concentration here on the right. That photo, 1 tablespoon per gallon is really plenty, and that's enough to just wipe on with a rag and let it dry. You don't have to rinse it off, and that's the point. Actually, as it dries, it's doing its work. But remember, you're not going to sanitize a dirty surface. If it looks at all dirty or has dirt and grime in it, it needs a scrub with soap or just scrubbing and rinsing if that gets it off. Once that is off, then the bleach does its job. So section 7 then is not a lot different, but it does need to be modified because it will be pretty redundant. I think there are things in section 7 that could go into section 3, if that makes sense. And the focus, I like this, the focus that we're shifting to is really this outline of equipment and your sort of efficient flow. So this is pushing people to think about flow, think about reset, think about cleaning. So being real efficient, end of the day, what does the cleaning routine look like? Can you draw that out? It might include, tidying, sweeping, surfaces, bins. So it's more general about the wash pack, and you don't need to go into the 4-step cleaning or the contact surfaces that are part that you went into in section 3. So that, I believe, is getting close, but I guess one more point is really, I would encourage people, I've seen so many wash packs, and the simpler you can make your area with less stuff in it, the easier it is to tidy, the more efficient it is, and the lower risk. So you win on a lot of different accounts to sort of clear everything out of the area where you're working and with these contact surfaces and have a good, efficient, simple reset and cleaning routine. That's with section 7. And again, before April 1, definitely give me a call if you have any questions, or just jump in and see how it goes. And Emily's here too. And we welcome to connect with all of you. And I'm sure I'll be calling some of you as well. So that is the end of this show. How long did that take? 15 minutes. We're going to be out of here quick. Okay, so let's switch to a little Q&A if you have any, and I'm happy to talk about any of this as need be. And feel free to turn your video on. That's always helpful. It's weird looking at a bunch of typed faces.
Yeah, and just maybe for the flow of questions, you feel free to type a question into the chat and I can read them out loud as they come in, or if you know how to raise your hand in the React option at the bottom of your screen, then we can also go through folks that way if you'd rather speak your question out loud. And if any of you have had a chance to actually log in and see the updates and you have questions, that's helpful. Or but essentially you're just, as Hans said, kind of removing certain sections that might have been more detailed in section 7, putting that into section 3 and thinking a little bit more about all the different contact surfaces and using that template that Hans has created. There's a link to it right in the plan builder. And a few of the farmers who have tested the changes for us ahead of time found that template really helpful to just work through process. Logan Boyd is asking, is there a particular type of soap you would like us using?
And that's Janet, I believe. Hi, Janet.
Oh, sorry. Oh, hi.
Just read
Hans knows you all better than I do. Sorry, Janet.
Hi, Janet. And I will say with that, just before we even answer that, I think I said this, but I do take dictation. I'm happy to just talk to some, not everyone, but some people who would rather do that, and I can make a change, send it to you. I've already done that a few times, and then you can kind of accept it. So I welcome that opportunity, and I'm going to get really good at it by the time May is out. So soap, there is not a particular brand of soap, but what you're looking for is something without a lot of additives. And I've used and a safer option. So like it says, I think that's on the label sometimes. So you could use a mild dish detergent. I happen to use Simple Green, which is, fairly inexpensive at the hardware store, but a lot of different options. Yes, wash station. So there's nothing changing. Will we be able to keep our wash station outside on grass, pack undercover? Pack is undercover. Absolutely. There's nothing changing in any of the requirements of how you're doing things. You don't need to make those changes. It's really about shifting the focus of the plan, and your focus, hopefully it's going to help over time to really focus on efficiency and kind of clean wash pack flow for the highest risk crop or crops. All right, I think there aren't questions, and we can end this early. I know I scheduled an hour just in case there was a lot of discussion, but I knew this would be quick, and that's great. We want a quick recording, but feel free to reach out. And I'll give a last few seconds if anyone wants to pipe up with any questions, concerns, etc. Moving ahead. Okay, I think that'll do it. And I think one other thing I'll say, just to say, looking at Andy there, is that you might have a lot of stuff, a big farm with a lot of different sort of roots and things. And what the strategy here is to take, a crop type that's highest risk and just focus on that. And then the idea is the other things fall into place, and still have your bins and other photos and stuff like that. So I want to emphasize that not to worry about trying to capture everything, but trying to capture the highest risk stuff. let's call it quits then. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, and look forward to hearing from some of you.